covering the political landscape along the I-4 corridor. Welcome to Political Connections.
Well, back now on Political Connections, joining me right now, Clearwater Mayor George Kriticos. Mayor, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
We have an election November the 7th coming up, and there are some items that people need to pay attention to in your particular areas. We're talking about Pinellas County and in Clearwater. So what's the issue? Let's start out with number one, penny for Pinellas.
Penny for Pinellas is not a new tax, Al. As you know, it's been around for 30 years. It gives us the opportunity to use those funds for capital improvements, for infrastructure repairs, and it is paid for in large part by people who are here visiting in Pinellas County and in Clearwater. So we would hope that people will consider voting for the Penny for Pinellas to keep it so that we can do those things not only in Clearwater but really throughout the county. You know, wherever you drive, you see a library sometimes, or you see a roadway or a sewer system that has been, built up and improved. And Penny for Pinellas is geared for that.
I didn't realize it's been around 30 years, that many years. Yeah. Now, it's renewed every 10 years,
Every
right?
10 years it's renewed, and that's what this is. This is the fourth extension.
Now, what's happened is that with Penny for Pinellas, usually even before the election, you see the what I call the wish list of things that they want done. Now, are each of the cities then in Pinellas given the opportunity to put in things that they would like to see in their city?
The county has a formula, and each city gets a portion based on its population, on how much it would receive. And then the city determines how it wants to have that money allocated within its city limits. Now, the county takes a small portion. The last penny, the current penny that we're in, the county dedicated some of that money for the jails. Okay. This time it's for economic development and housing, I believe it is.
And housing is something that's desperately needed in the area, especially when you talk about law enforcement, firefighters, teachers that may not make as much money as we'd like to see them make, and they have problems with housing. The approach to housing is very different than it used to be, because there are still some areas, even within Clearwater, you say, well, that was kind of a housing area, and now they're doing a better job of what I call spreading it out and putting it so it's not concentrated in one area.
I think the thing that we're most proud of in Clearwater, Alan, is that we partnered with Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, okay.
And we had a public housing project, and you would probably remember it, called Homeward Village.
Oh, sure.
And it was just
Not really.
Okay. And we demolished that. Habitat came in. We entered an agreement with Habitat. We now have 51 homes there.
Oh, that's great.
That are back on the tax roll. People who have gone through the Habitat program. They put in sweat equity into the house, and they're living there now. And to go by that neighborhood now, it makes you feel good to know that you've been able to help these people live the American dream to have their own house.
See, I'm old enough that I remember Pruitt-Igoe from St. Louis, because I was in the St. Louis area. These were 12-story, 4 or 5 of them, and they were destroyed within 5 to 10 years. The people did them, and they actually got rid of them. So that's kind of a new concept. What other projects in particular would people recognize as being Penny for Pinellas that have happened in the last 10 years in Clearwater specifically?
In Clearwater, you look at our library system, okay? Whether it's the new Countryside Library that we just dedicated last year. We're working on a joint library with St. Petersburg College that's going to have some Penny for Pinellas money in. We're doing a Morningside Recreation Center.
Right.
We've also done one in the North Greenwood area. So these are the types of things that we're using the Penny for Pinellas.
Now, when you put together your budget for the year, then you're not allowed to include Penny for Pinellas into the budget, are you?
No. We have an operating budget, and then we have a capital improvement budget. So the Penny for Pinellas funds would go into the capital improvement program. We use it to buy police cars and fire trucks.
Okay.
So if the Penny for Pinellas were to go away, then if we needed to buy a new police truck, or if we a police car or a fire truck, or if we needed to build a library or improve a park like we want to do with Coachman Park, then we would have to use property tax money. So that's the advantage that the Penny for Pinellas provides.
And the voters have been very, very, very good in approving that, and I don't think, I'm just going by from what my feedback from most people is, that's a blessing we've got that. Now, so let's talk about something